your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, just the 7 seas. I deal with life different, make that lemon squeeze. We're known for my style.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Rhonda Lynn. You already know what it is. It's this week's episode of the Rhonda She Podcast. I have got to get used to saying that because we switched over from the Social Therapy Podcast, and we used to be the Rhonda She Podcast, actually, and I switched it to that, and now I'm switching it back. So we talked about that in the last episode, or in like a mini episode. You might want to go back and check that out because we ain't going to spend too much time on that today. But we do have a couple of things that we're going to be talking about today, okay? The first part I want to talk about is, can you see, right? As you're going through this life, can you see your purpose? Can you see where you're going? Can you see yourself, right? Or do you have the blinders on, you just letting life just happen? But you already know, before we go any further, let's go ahead and give a shout out to our sponsor, Motivated Coffee, because them beans ain't basic, okay, child? So make sure you check them out at motivatedcoffee.com and get 10% off your order, okay? All right, so let's get started. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing I want to talk about, because you know we keep it motivational, we keep it self-help, self-care, self-love, all that, right? I mean, that's what we about. Even though I changed the name, that's what we all about, right? Okay, so let's keep it going, okay? So first of all, the question I want to ask you now, and then I'm going to ask you later is, can you see? Can you see? Okay. And I'm asking that because I want to know, like, are you going through your life with the blinders on, right? You just kind of like rose-colored lenses, like you just going through and you're just letting life live you, or are you living life? Are you taking advantage of all of the gifts and opportunities that are available? I'll tell you one thing for sure. It's your mindset, right? When you look for trouble, you find trouble. When you look for opportunities, when your mind is always on opportunities will gravitate to you. When you have a negative mindset, negative things gravitate to you. It's not even so much that it gravitates to you. It's just that you're more reactive to it because that's where your head is and that's what you're thinking about. That's just like if you buy a new yellow car, right? Let's say you buy a new truck. It's yellow. You ain't never seen no yellow truck before. And that's why you bought it, because you like, shoot, I'm about to be different. Okay, hey. Now you're seeing yellow trucks everywhere. And it's not even just yellow. It's your yellow truck. Same brand, make, model, year, all that, right? What were these trucks when you was trying to be different? Because that's where your brain is focused on. And I know you hear a lot about like, manifestation and all of that, but it's some truth to it, okay? And I'm going to tell you like the way I look at it. We are connected to this earth and everything in it and everyone in it and every living object in it, right? So when you are connected to everything, because everything was created by the Creator, right? We all have some type of instinct or something when we're connected. So you're drawn to things that you spend your mind focused on. That's just like fishing, right? Now, I mean, and I'm going to say this because I've been in this situation before. Let's say you go fishing and you go to the fishing spot, go to the fishing hole or whatever, and everybody's like over here fishing and they kind of catching something. They not really, and you was over there, you wasn't really catching nothing. You like, I'm gonna move over here away from everybody because, they done scared the fish off. There's people over there who don't know what they doing. Okay. So, you bait your hook or whatever, you throw it out there. That's how I throw it out there. So you throw it out there or whatever. And I mean, don't get me wrong, fishing does take a skill. You need to know how low to go, how deep you can get it in there, right? To where the fish are and attract them. You don't want to spook them, right? But when you know what you're doing and you're focused on catching those fish, all of a sudden you start catching fish. It's like they are coming to you because you done came to them. You have manifested these fish, okay? And everybody's like, oh my gosh, how are you doing it? How are you doing it? Right? And you just getting them, yank them, yank them, yank them. You just bam, bam, bam. You piling them up on your little string or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So now here come everybody coming over there, right? Trying to get up in your little spot and your honey pot, right? Trying to catch your fish. They ain't catching them though. You still yank them, bam, right? They're looking at you like, what are you doing? What are you using? What's your bait? Baby, we all using the same bait, right? We all got night crawlers, right? We all got chicken on our hook, right? But it ain't seasoned like me, okay? See, my dip bait is different, right? Because I move different, because I came with intention, because I prepared for this before I got here, okay? And you can put your hook, you can cast into my hole as much as you want to, but you ain't at the right depth and you ain't got what it wants. And you might not have what it takes. So you can't sit here and tell me what to do when you ain't catching no fish. Because I done came over here and I'm getting them all. And you trying to get like me and you can't, right? Because I came for it and I got it. And there's a lot of people out there who will try to tell you what to do, try to give you their opinion on, oh, you should do this. If it was me, this and that and the third and woo, woo, woo. These people ain't never caught fish in their life. These people ain't never been successful at doing what they telling you to do ever, okay? They telling you, if you do it like this, if you use this, if you go over here, if you move over here, you will catch all the fish. But you look at them, they ain't got but 1 or 2 fish and they small. They little fish. Don't use that. You won't get no big ones. How you know? Huh? We got to start checking people's resume. We got to start checking their track record before we just go all the way in on just believing what they say at face value. Like, who are they to tell you anything? 9 times out of 10, people got just as much experience as you do. Okay? And I know you're probably looking at me like, Rhonda, why should I listen to you? I don't know. Why should you? I'm just going off of life experiences, right? And my opinion and my take on things are based off of my life experiences. And which are, you know, our life experiences are the things that make us who we are, right? So if my opinion based off of my life experiences can help you, then, you know, listen to me. If they can't, then don't. No what else to tell you. But I want you to know that you are completely capable of navigating through this life on your own without having to depend on the people, right? Because everybody don't have your best intention at mind, and everybody is not looking for you to succeed, because sometimes you passing them up, doing better, makes them realize where they slacking, where they fall short, right? It's a crab in a bucket scenario. And I'm not saying don't trust everybody, but trust yourself first. Listen to your intuition, right? Follow the little voice in your head. Don't second guess yourself. I'm gonna tell you right now, every time I've ever second guessed myself, girl getting fluffy. Every time I've ever second guessed myself and listened to somebody else, because I'm thinking, well, if they're telling me this, they must know, right? I realized I should listen to myself. I was right. Let's just be honest. Like, most of us don't like asking for help Anyway, okay? So that's why you got to have vision, okay? You have to have vision. And if you have vision, it allows you to be independent because you can foresee into your future the things that you want to acquire for yourself. Going off of somebody else's vision, that's what they want for themselves. And if you being in a certain position does what for them, right? Even if it's your parents, you being in a certain position makes them look good because they raised you. You're the product of them being a mom or a dad or whatever, right? So the better you do, the better they look. Everybody, everything is selfish, okay? That's why I always say, and I'm going to say it again today, you should be selfish. When you have vision, you can see, right? So remember I asked you, can you see? Do you have vision? Okay. Can you see the vision for yourself? When you have vision, when you can see, it helps you, you're able to see the intentions of others for you. Does that make sense? You're able to see what the intentions other people have for you based off of how they move, how they look, how you catch them giving you that side eye when they think you ain't looking, right? The tone in their voice or whatever. Are they excited for you? How long does it take them to reply back when you ask for a favor? Okay? And I say that because, like, we all need people. It's you can live in this world alone, but no matter what you do, you need somebody for something. Even if you're selling something, you need somebody to buy it. So there may be a time when you need a favor from somebody, a family, a friend, a coworker, somebody, right? When it comes time for them to say yes or no, do they do it? How long does it take them to say yes? Are they enthusiastic? Did they have to think about it? How long did they have to think about it? Like, do they want to see you succeed? Is their participation in the vision that you have for yourself going to put you in a better place? And how do they feel about it? And no one's going to tell you that they don't want to see you do better, but you can see it. That's why you got to listen to your intuition, because as women especially, our senses are always like heightened up. We are always observing everything around us because we have to, because we're constantly trying to make sure that we're safe, right? So we're always being receptive. We hear, we look, we listen, we smell, right? And whether you believe it or not, are very attuned to the body language and the vibes of others. Like, women are very empathetic. Yes, because we're, mothers, or we have the chemistry to produce children, and we're, but also because we are women. And I just looked at something coming through, my bad. And we are constantly having to make sure that we're in a state of safety, because there are men out here, there are people out here who are not safe to be around. We can't really walk around at night by ourselves in a short skirt, because it's not safe, right? I'm just saying. So what I want you to do is, when somebody tells you something, don't just go off of what they say, right? People have, especially at this age, like, everybody pretty much knows that it's not what you say, it's what you do. And there are a lot of people who have perfected the do, right? Even though they don't mean it. So it's like, okay, it's not what you say, it's what you do, right? If you're in a relationship and somebody says they're going to do better, don't just go off of what they say. Are they actually doing better? But like I said, some people have perfected the act of doing better when they don't mean it. So it's like, you got to look for those subtle cues, right? How long can they do better? People cannot help but be themselves. It always kind of comes out a little bit, right? Pay attention to that. That's who they really are. That's how they really feel. And it's like, well, what if I can't recognize it, right? What if it takes me a long time to recognize it? I'm going to tell you my opinion sometimes of why you can be easily deceived by the actions of other people, right? And I could be wrong. I'm not a doctor or whatever. Like I said, I'm just going off my own experiences. I mean, this is something I've experienced myself with myself, right? But we deceive ourselves. We tell ourselves, I'm going to do better, right? We tell ourselves, I'm going to eat better. I'm going to work out. I'm going to be better. I'm going to be on time to work every day, right? I'm going to start making coffee at home, right? And then we do it. But it's hard. Oh my God, it's so hard to do. And then eventually you stop doing it because you didn't really want to do it anyway, right? It was too hard. It's too much of a force. Forcing yourself to get up early, you didn't really want to do that. You didn't even go to bed on time. That's the little things. You didn't go to bed early enough the night before to even get up at 5 a.m. to go to the gym before you get ready for work. But you tricking yourself into thinking that's what you're going to do. And when you are constantly deceiving yourself or going through the motions for yourself, convincing yourself that you mean it, when other people do the same thing, you're kind of used to it, right? So you believe it because you believe yourself when you lie to yourself. So you believe other people when they lie to you too. They lie to you with their words, with their actions, with their intentions. You're doing the same thing to yourself. You got to stop doing that to yourself. Be true to yourself. Take baby steps. You know what I'm saying? Just be honest with yourself and you'll be able to start seeing the intentions and motives of other people. Things that might be blocking your vision, okay? Negativity. Some of us are so blind that all we see is negativity all the time, okay? We see our shortcomings. We always see is what we don't have. And when we focus on what we don't have, we attract the inability to have those things, right? Because that's where our mind is, where our mindset is. We are literally manifesting not having, because that's all we think about. If you think about having, opportunities to have will find its way to you. You will find yourself in rooms that can help you get to where you need to be to have the things you desire. But if all you notice and all you focus on is your shortcomings and what you ain't got, you ain't going to have nothing. And you ain't going to have no opportunities to help you get any further. Because this is blocking your vision, blocking your blessing. It's just blocking you from moving forward. It's a roadblock. And you have to work on yourself in order to get past that so that you can do better. Okay? Because let's just acknowledge something real quick. We're all blessed out here, okay? And I believe that we're all equally blessed, okay? We're all highly favored. Just some of us are hard-headed and some of us ain't. Okay? Some of us don't listen. Some of us, we got to try a little harder to get our attention. We just hard-headed, okay? So basically, like, imagine it like this, right? With this blessing, right? With these intentions, right? With the ability to draw better into your life, okay? Imagine, you know how everybody says, like, oh, your cup is half full or empty or whatever, however you want to look at your cup, right? Your cup is always full, okay? But some of us are afraid to drink from it, okay? And we're afraid to drink from the cup because everything's not lined up right. And if we drink from our cup, then it's going to go down. But we're afraid it's not going to go back up. And then when we need the blessing or we need the, manifestation or, the goodness to move forward when we get what we want out of life, it might not be there because, oh my gosh, it's like a scarcity mindset. Drink from that cup. It fills back up. It's like it's like a magical cup. Your cup is always full, okay? But if you act like your cup is empty, if you believe that your cup is empty, it's going to be empty because you're not drinking from it and you're living life with a cup that is full, that you never drink from, that you never use, and that you act and move as if it's empty. So you do have an empty cup. Because what is the point of a cup if you don't use it? Okay, so if you have a cup, right? Let's say this cup, right? I got some cold brew that I made earlier. And look, it got a lot of cream in it because it was from concentrate. The color don't stick. But, okay, so if you have a cup that's full, but you never drink from it, You never use this cup. You never get the nourishment. You never get the caffeine. You never get that oomph that it gives you, that energy that you could get from drinking coffee. You never get it, right? You never drink from it. You never use it. So now you're going through life tired, exhausted, right? Thirsty, trying to figure out and look for ways to get hydrated, when all along you have an ice cold cup of cold brew coffee with you everywhere you go. Everywhere you go. It's the right strength. It's the right flavor. It has the creamer in it. It has ice in it. It's in your favorite cup. It's in your favorite straw. It's there for you. You never drink out of it. You know you have it, but you live in life like it's empty, so you never get the benefits of having a cup that's full. If you drink from it, and God just fills it right back up. Let's say by the end of the day, it fills itself back up. You're starting with a fresh cup. Don't that make sense? I had to do that little analogy because I want y'all to see that everything you need to nourish yourself, to get everything into alignment for you, is in that cup, right? The more you drink from it, the more you will have, and the more you will see that you have always had and what you need to navigate through this life. The more you'll see that you've always had what it takes to navigate through this life. The worst thing you can do is depend on somebody else's cup, right? Because what if they ain't drinking from their cup either? Now y'all too blind leading the blind, right? They just blind as you are. You ain't drink from your cup because you scared that it's not gonna fill back up, and they ain't drink from theirs either, and they just telling you what they heard from somebody else who drank from their cup said before, you know? Now, I'm not trying to tell you to believe that everybody out here is malicious and everybody's hating on you or whatever, or nobody don't know nothing, right? Because there are people out here that are rooting for you, who do believe in you, who want to see you do better or whatever. But they only can tell you as much as they actually know. And what you don't know, right? You don't know what you don't know. And so that's why I'm saying, take the advice of others with a grain of salt, because a lot of people make themselves seem like they something that they not on the outside in the world. When they get home, the shit ain't together. They ain't got it together. That's just like with finance. You got somebody telling you how to run your bank account, but they stuff overdrafted. Do you really want somebody who can't keep their account in the positive to tell you how to keep yours in a surplus? I'm going to need you to get your stuff together first, okay? This is what I'm talking about. Do your research. Check on people. Find out, do they really even know what they're talking about, okay? I'm just saying. But like I said, listen to me. No, for real, though. I'm just going off of my experiences. I'm not trying to say I'm professional in any of these areas. Yes, I do have, a couple of degrees, but so people with degrees, I don't know nothing either, okay? If their advice ain't working for them, then it's not going to work for you either. You hear me? I hope so. Okay? They can't see their own faults, so how do they see yours? And sometimes maybe people see their own faults in you, so they try to help you not make the mistakes that they made. But I'm going to need you to work on yourself first before you try to come helping me, so you can be an example. Because I'm looking at you like, why would I listen to you about getting my money right when yours ain't? Obviously, what you're doing is not working for you, so why would it work for me? That's what I'm just saying, Check your sources, folks, okay? And don't be afraid to ask questions. When you ask people questions and they get offended, because they don't know what they're talking about. They only know the little bit that they just told you. They don't know no details about that stuff, okay? So you might be asking now, well, Rhonda, how can I get my sight back, right? I want to see, right? Because I'm asking you again, can you see? Okay? Hopefully your answer is yes, but if not, you might want to say, how can I get it back? Because we all had our sight at one point, right? The answer is never settle. And always give 100% at everything that you do. Okay, matter of fact, 110%. Because you know when you're settling. You can feel it in your bones. You know when it ain't right. You know when you deserve more than what you are getting, or you are allowing yourself to have or experience. And let me tell you something, okay? When you ignore, right? When you ignore that feeling of, I deserve better than this is beneath me, I am better than this, and you go head down into the gutter and accept some bull crap that you know you don't deserve to be experiencing, you are going blind. You are. Because you have the sight to see, right? You have the ability to notice, and you are not using it. You're looking past it. Like, well, how do I know that I'm settling, right? Because, we got to start somewhere. Ain't that what you tell yourself? I got to start somewhere. Well, if you can't brag on it, you settling. Okay? If you have to explain yourself about why you made a decision that you made because you already know it don't even sound right, you're settling. Okay? You know when you're settling. You know. If it's not sitting right in your spirit, you're settling. You should always expect the best for yourself. You should be operating in the mindset of bouginess at all times. Even if, people say the definition of bougie is like when you act like you more than what you really are. But I beg to differ. Who said what I really am? Right? If being bougie means I act like I got more than I really got, I'm dressing for the job I want. I'm dressing for the life I want to have, okay? If you say I act like I'm more than I am, who said that I was less? You? Not me. I'm going to always put myself up here. And anybody who's got me down here, you don't have a place at my table. You can't sit with me. You can't sit with us, with me and whoever else is at my table with me. Because we support each other over here. You're not going to sit here and tell me like I'm all that, and I'm not, because I am. This is the all that table. And you can go ahead and skedaddle, because we don't need that negativity over here. So in my opinion, it's nothing wrong with being bougie. Make it your business to see everything clearly, to have all the details about everything. That's just like if you're going on a girls trip and they tell you, okay, Rhonda, we need X amount of dollars from you because this is this, this, and this, right? Let me see the receipts. Don't just tell me that I got to give you $150 a night for the hotel when it's 7 of us. And then when I ask, well, let me see it. You catch an attitude? I don't really believe my cut is $150 if you can't come with them receipts. And you might say, well, I don't have a receipt because I ain't bought it yet. Well, let me know where you got the price from. Let me see where you got it from. You know what I'm saying? You are settling when you just say, okay, because it's not sitting right with you. I've had someone try me like this before, get a rental car. It's like, oh, everybody had to pay $375 for the rental. And then you find out that everybody only had to pay $75. So why did you tell me $375? You thought you could try to exploit me because you think I got a little bit of money? Don't worry about what's in my bank account. Treat me fairly. And when I ask to see them receipts, show me the receipts. Because you can't show it to me when it's $375, but you can show it to me when it's $75. You got an attitude when it's $375 and I ask for that paperwork, but you have it when it's $75. So don't be afraid. When your intuition is telling you to ask more questions, right? You got to move with intention. And when people know that you move with intention, that you ain't just going for anything and they can't just tell you anything, they're going to think twice before they try to play you. Okay? And unless you get played through this life, the better chances you have of being successful, because You have less obstacles in the way. So be open to change, be open to discernment, move with intention, and know that you deserve all that is good in this life. Know that you are the main character in this life and everything revolves around you, because you only can see life through your eyes. As hard as you might try to see it through somebody else's eyes, you only can see life through your eyes. If your life was a movie, you would only see it through your eyes, through your vision. The camera will be looking through here, right? I seen the movie Soul, right? It's like a Disney movie. And you know, there's a scene in the movie, I don't want to give it away if you haven't seen it, but you should have seen it by now. But there's a scene in the movie where, you know, the main character done passed away and he's mentoring another little soul. And they go into this room, and the room is like a movie of this guy's life. Oh, and he spent so much of his life trying to be something that he wasn't. And at the end of the day, when they looked at the movie of his life and the different scenes from his life, he was so ashamed. He was embarrassed of how he spent majority of his days. Here he is, supposed to be mentoring this young soul, and what has he done in his life to be a mentor, right? What impact has he made, even to himself? So when he was given a second chance to live, right, when he came back at the end of the movie and he had another chance to live, everything that he had called himself being on when he lived the first time, he changed his whole script, right? He seen life differently. He moved differently. His intention was different. He didn't spend his whole life trying to be a musician anymore because he realized this is not what all life is about, right? He had new goals. He wanted more for himself, and he did it. And I am saying right now, if you had to watch a movie playback of your life from this point backwards, how would you feel about it? Is that a movie that you would find interesting? It's your life. Is your life interesting? Is it big screen worthy? Or would you cut it off in the first scene? Or does it get boring as soon as you hit adulthood? I'm just saying, like, you the main character, right? Is this a movie you want to watch? Forget the book, the chapter. Don't talk about the movie, baby, okay? Make it interesting, okay? Step it up. Step it up. Whether you realize that a lot of us are living life through the eyes of other people, right? When we start living life through our own eyes, when we realize that we are the main character and everyone else in our lives are supporting characters, supporting actors and actresses or whatever, and they support you in your life and how it moves, right? Then you will see that you will see your value in this world, in this life. Okay, your life is not here to be a supporting character to somebody else. You're here to be the main character. You are the director. You are the main character. Everything really does revolve around you. Everything else is just conceptual. Like, we watch the news and we see things going on. We have to trust those things are actually real, right? And even if we are there when the newsworthy events take place, this is a scene that we're in. And as the main character, what are you going to do? What did you do? And when you look at life like that, you're able to be more productive. You're able to make a stamp in this world, in your life, and have something worth looking back on and to share with other people. Because you're able to see it with excitement, and you find a new zest for life when you realize this is your movie, you're the main character in it, and move accordingly.